morning, everyone. This is Nate doing another day hike adventure. Today we are in the great state of Oklahoma. We are summiting the Oklahoma high point, which is called Black Mesa. Sort of an interesting high point in that it extends very little into Oklahoma. Most of its extent is in New Mexico and Colorado. The high point of the mesa is not actually the high point of Oklahoma, which is also kind of funny. It's also very interesting. It is in the far western portion of the Oklahoma panhandle. And where I live in northern New Mexico, I'd have to look it up, but I would assume that I am probably closer to the Oklahoma State high point than probably 80% of Oklahomans. So it was, we got a nice early start. It is late December right now. Time change is kind of funky. We got about a 10 a.m. start, but it wasn't 10 a.m. until about 5 minutes before we got to the trailhead. But I'm expecting a pretty easy hike, but this will be the longest distance I've hiked since breaking my ankle. So I'm kind of curious to see how that goes. So far, scenery pretty beautiful. I don't know if this would be considered cap rock country, but to me it's very reminiscent of that. You have a lot of rolling plains that are just interspersed with these very beautiful, dramatic canyon lands. So very excited to do this state high point. This will be number 6 for me. All right, so we've plateaued, it looks like, which means it's pretty much about a mile straight shot to the high point. Really not difficult. I mean, there are mile markers in the form of benches every mile. And I would say right after mile marker 2 is where you start to really climb, but it's not a bad climb at all. All right, it is super windy. We are headed down the peak. We also did bag the state line high point. I can't remember if I mentioned that. You're in my hat right now. Because if you weren't, it'd be so windy you couldn't hear me. You might not even be able to hear me now. There's no way I can know that. Thanks for joining me. See you on the next one.